Good news, everyone. Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the In-Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today, Blue Note just announced the classic vinyl reissue series. Some of you might remember I did a video on Music Matters Jazz, where I had talked about the need to have tier A and B titles in print, in analog, a high-quality series ready to go for people getting into jazz. Or people who are just getting into vinyl who want high quality issues, pressings of these records. So we had the Tone Poets at the time I talked about in the video. We talked about the Blue Note 80th anniversary stuff. So the Blue Note Classic Reissue Series is essentially going to be a 80th anniversary continuation, although it is not the Blue Note 80th anniversary anymore. We are in what I believe to be their 81st anniversary. They are calling it the Classic Series, but this is a series that is essentially focusing on Tier A and Tier B titles. I love the Tone Poet stuff. The Tone Poet stuff is absolutely unbelievable. Replicates the original. This is a Music Matters title. The Tone Poet replicates the original Music Matters stuff to where you get these big heavy-duty tip-on jackets. A lot of times they're gatefold covers with artwork from the session, photography. Really heavy-duty covers. The Tone Poets are absolutely amazing. If you are a jazz fan and don't know about these, you should buy some Tone Poets. They are amazing. If you go to the website, www.theingroove.com, and just search Tone Poet, T-O-N-E, Poet, you will see a list of all the in-print Tone Poets. Some of them were out of print for a little while due to COVID. There were some issues. But the Tone Poet series is fantastic. So, you had the Blue Note Tone Poet. This is a series too. The Tone Poets, they've announced recently, it wasn't recently, it was some months back, but the Tone Poets are going to be pretty much an indefinite reissue campaign. But the Tone Poets focus on titles that are lesser known titles or titles that have not been reissued. So, a fantastic series. The 80th anniversary series focused on titles that were lesser known titles or titles that hadn't been done as much. I think they were a little bit better known titles, but they were done in a generic cover. So they were, like the Tone Poets, they're all analog when available. Both of these series, actually, the Tone Poets, they did some digital, some later records that have never come out on vinyls from the vinyl from the 90s and the O's. But those were digital because they were recorded digital. But where available, they did them in analog. All cut by Kevin Gray. A fantastic reissue series. It's been a huge success. In the realm of vinyl, it has been an amazing success. Are the labels getting rich off of these things? No, they can probably do a commercial, put a song placement in a commercial and make more money, on that than they'll make doing this for a couple of years. But it is highly successful in the realm of vinyl. But this is the 80th anniversary. It is a generic stock cover. Originally, they came in these crummy paper sleeves. The early series titles tend to come in these paper sleeves. It looks like they're doing polyline sleeves now. The last 5 or 6 months of these, I've noticed them in polyline sleeves, which has been nice. So it looks like that is the new norm for the 80th anniversary, but it's just a generic cover. Now, the Tone Poets are pressed and plated at RTI. These are not. These are pressed at Optimal. Same place that the Beatles did the mono Beatles titles. They were pressed there as well. I think it's a fantastic plant. I don't think the quality suffers at all from the RTI press titles. But yeah, that's the difference. Tone Poet type cover and an 80th. So the 80th stuff is just, flimsy cardboard cover. But there's a price difference. The Tone Poets were $35. These were $25. So it's a $10 less, retail $10 less product. But there was no major titles on the 80th anniversary. They did they did Herbie Hancock's first record. They did a couple of real good titles that were like, you know, real high quality tier B titles. But they didn't do Blue Train, they didn't do the Sidewinder, they didn't do Monin, they didn't do Cool Strut, you know, they didn't do Midnight Blue, they didn't do, you know, the titles that you would routinely see on maybe the top 10 or top 20 greatest jazz albums of all time. Those were left off. But they finally announced they're doing the Classic Series. Again, the Classic Series is essentially an 80th, but they're doing more key titles. The first two titles they're doing, now these come out December 4th. I have them available pre-order on the website. But the first two titles they're doing are Lee Morgan's The Sidewinder and McCoy Tyner's The Real McCoy. So that's December 4th. And it looks like this is going to be a once-a-month affair. So I really think we are going to be seeing about, between Tone Poets and 80th, we're going to be seeing 4 solid Blue Note reissues once a month for the foreseeable future. And in their press release, they kind of announced this as a continuing series, which is absolutely fantastic news. I've said it many, many times. These records have to be in print. The 75th anniversaries were panned. They weren't that good. The sound quality wasn't that good. These 80th anniversary titles are absolutely fantastic sounding. I play them in the store as demos all the time. People go nuts. I mean, they're phenomenal. And I'm guessing they're going to be all recuts. I don't think, you know, Ron over there at Music Matters is going to say, hey, Kevin, Blue Note, take these lacquers. You've already, you know, these stampers. You've already cut it. Borrow my stampers. You know, those are something that he paid for, more likely he owns. This is going to be a recut, I would imagine, by Kevin Gray. But I refuse to believe that these are going to be any less in quality than something he's already done. I mean, he's done some of these titles 2 to 3 times. 45 RPM, 33 RPM Blue Note series, Music Matters Blue Note series, and now he's starting to do them again as Classic Series titles. I refuse to believe that he has gotten worse at his job. I'm sure his system is always progressively changing and getting better. I'm sure his technique is getting better. People tend to get better with age. You know, experience, I guess I would say. So I think these are going to be every bit as good sound-wise as the Music Matters titles that he's done in the past. Granted, we're not going to get that fantastic presentation, but the quality of these sound-wise should be just absolutely dynamite. So let's go over the list. So it's interesting, there's a few key titles that are missing from this, but it's a continuation, you know, continuing series. So this is something that they're going to have to obviously keep rolling these out slowly. So December 4th, we've got the Sidewinder and the Real McCoy. January 15th, another couple of huge titles. Oh, on a side note, so you know that Sidewinder, it's funny, once they announced this, eBay just got flooded with people trying to offload Music Matters stuff, because you could kind of see that was going to happen. Once they put high-quality audiophile sound analog reissues on the market, you knew that the Music Matters stuff was going to take a nosedive. And that's kind of essentially what happened. I've noticed these titles are, compared to what they are in abundance online, and they're going for less money. But yeah, the Lee Morgan, the Sidewinder, SRX copies of that were going for close to $300 selling. And the original was going for, you know, the original Music Matters 33 going for about $100.50. You know, there's going to be people, these are going to be desirable, they're going to be high quality, they're going to be the first, you know, in a series of really high quality stuff that was done in this fashion. There's really nothing like it. So, I mean, they'll still be desirable, they'll still be collectible. Now, the days of insane money, Speak No Evil and Art Blakey's Monin SRX titles, I saw going for $500-600 selling, not people high one night decided to list records on eBay. These were consistently selling. I sold them for this price. It's insane, but that's what they were going for. But I don't foresee those crazy prices for a long, long time now that we're going to have a viable replacement. But January 15th, Horace Silver's Song for My Father and Wayne Shorter's Speak No Evil, one of the titles that was going for obnoxious money. Even the regular version was going for up to $300. February 12th, Cannonball Adderley, Something Else, and Joe Henderson's Page One. March 12th, my favorite record of all time, and I'm going to sell an absolute ton of these because when it is in print and there's a good quality version of it, I play it in the store all the time, and people want to buy it because of it. Something I talked about in great depth in my Music Matters video. This is the reason they should be in print, and here they are. It's kind of funny, I did that video, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. Somebody out there, I would imagine, was watching it who knew about this, was like, well, hang on, it's coming, and here it is. But yeah, March 12th, Hank Mobley's Soul Station. Absolute dynamite title. And Art Blakey's Moanin'. I mean, now we're getting to the cream of the crop. Mostly A titles, and in my opinion, a couple of B titles. But, I get some slack. People are like, how could you call such and such a B title? Well, you got to divvy them up somewhere. Granted, it's still, unbelievable in the upper echelon of music, greatest music of all time. But come on. We got to draw the line somewhere. April 9th, Sonny Clark's Cool Struttin'. An amazing record. Unbelievable, iconic cover. It's a title I wish they would have did as like a Tone Poet because it's just that artwork is unbelievable. But doesn't really fit the Tone Poet scheme. It's more of what they're doing here. Jimmy Smith's Back at the Chicken Shack. May 14th. This is all next year, 2021. Dexter Gordon's Go and Eric Dolphy's Out to Lunch. June 11th, Grant Green's Idle Moments and Kenny Burrell's Midnight Blue. That Midnight Blue is one of my absolute favorite jazz albums of all time. It's unbelievable. It's a great, chill record. I mean, amazing record. If you don't own it, you should. July 9th, Ready for Freddie. Freddie Hubbard and Herbie Hancock's Maiden Voyage. Maiden Voyage, another title that goes for absolutely crazy money. But yeah, in the press release, they're saying this is a continuing series. So they've released up to July 9th, and they'll be releasing, more titles coming up. I'm guessing they're saving some of the heavy hitters. But, you'll notice on here, we don't have any John Coltrane. There's no Blue Train. That's missing. That would be one of probably the most major of the future titles, but there's a ton of killer stuff. But it is going to be so nice to get some of these heavy hitters back in print, all analog, cut from the original analog master tape by Kevin Gray, the guy that I think the consensus would be in the last 15, 20 years. He's done the absolute best with the Blue Note catalog. It's a fantastic series. I'm really looking forward to it. I have some thoughts on it. I wish, it's weird. So in the video I talked about, we got to have them affordable for people. And I guess I think of affordable for me, $35 seems in the today's market with every premium pressing going for 50, 80, 100, 125 for UHQRs and Mobile Fidelity 1 steps. Electric Recording Company titles going for $500. Sam Records Artisan Series titles going for hundreds of euros. I mean, 35 seems reasonable to me, but for a lot of people it's not. I think $25 is probably the sweet spot. And truth be told, this will bang down the price of the Music Matters. And if you got the money and you want to pay the big money for the full presentation package, the whole 9 yards, I think this puts those titles more within reach, and it puts something for the average Joe to have, in their collection. I think when you get somebody that buys a $25 copy of Lee Morgan's A Sidewinder, cut by Kevin Gray, sounds, in my opinion, probably going to be just as good. Don't hold me on that. I haven't listened to it yet. But there's going to be a lot of people who are like, what? Even if the title is worth, right now it's worth $150, $200, they go for whatever. Even if it goes down to $75, $100, there's going to a lot of people who are going to say, I'm going to sell this for triple what I paid for this so I can go buy the next 3. So I really, truly feel like the Music Matters stuff takes a little bit of a haircut on this news, but I think the end result is good for everybody. We get cheap, affordable copies of these records in print for all the new people in vinyl, and, chances are if you're a vinyl guy and you're an audiophile and you've been collecting these for a while, you probably got these anyways already. So these aren't for you. But this gets, for a huge amount of people, really, really, really high quality sounding records in print for reasonable prices. But, you know, and the Tone Poets, a lot of that stuff is, even if you are a, you know, an audiophile, even if you've been collecting vinyl for 30 years, a lot of the Tone Poet stuff, you don't have a reissue of that quality in your collection. You know, a lot of the stuff they did was stuff that was from their vaults, you know, that got crummy releases in the 80s, or they were Japanese releases, you know, only, stuff along those lines. So I think they really have it dialed in perfectly now. This is really the perfect way to do it. High quality issues on stuff that's never come out with the Tone Poets, and everything else for the 80th anniversary stuff / classic series. This is a fantastic. Don Was over there at Blue Note has really kind of hit. This strategy is, I think, perfect. And who knows, maybe 15 years down the road, we'll get some other audiophile reissue campaign. You know, they never stop reissuing these albums. And as long as the tapes are in good shape, they're going to keep, you know, they're going to keep pounding the pavement. But where does that leave Music Matters? Maybe we'll see some more SRXs. But I think, you know, I think they're pretty much done at this point. We're not going to be hearing too much from Music Matters. It's unfortunate. I think as a label, I wish things went a different way. Maybe they'll start doing other titles. Who knows? Maybe they'll attempt a Riverside deal. Maybe they'll do Riverside. Maybe they'll do, you know, maybe they'll pick another label and kind of put the same. I would totally be for that. But I do not miss people having to pay gobs and gobs of money, scrambling, getting these records within a 2-minute window on their website crashing, and these things going for ridiculous money. Speak No Evil should not be a $600 record. That is insane. You can get a really high quality, really good graded, good visual eye appeal copy of the original for that kind of money. There is no reason that it should be that much money. That's insane. Now, you know, there's some titles, obviously, you're not going to get a good copy of Cool Struttin' for that amount of money. You're not going to get Blue Train anymore. That seems to be a title that's gotten crazy expensive in the last 10 years. There's some titles you're never going to get real high quality versions of that money. So even $500-600 sounds okay. But some of these titles that are going for more, I saw there was, what was it? The Stanley Turrentine that they did on gold color vinyl. I saw a copy of that sell for on eBay for like $600-700, some stupid amount of money. You can get like a minty original for less than $100 of that record all day long. I mean, to pay that kind of money for a colored variant, that's just obnoxious. I mean, it made me a little bit happy, truth be told, because I have like 4 of them, I think, somewhere. But I just don't see that as rational thinking. I think that's insane to pay that kind of money. Don't do it. It's insane. But there are super limited. There's not a ton of them out there, and there are people that want to make a run of the Music Matters stuff. So I guess what do you do at that point? But unless you're making a run and you're like a set builder and you're collecting them all, there's just absolutely no reason to be paying $600 for that album. Get the non-colored version. That's insane. But yes. So go to the website. We're going to have them all available for pre-order as they come out. We're going to have these. Hopefully these are going to be very good selling, and there's something I hope to be reviewing in the future and talking about. But yeah, I'm really super stoked when I saw this. A lot of people sent me emails. Hey, Mike, look, it happened. And this is just, overall, I'm excited. This is great news. $25 high-quality jazz reissues coming soon. Fantastic news. All right, guys, I'm Mike. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And until next time,